So this slide shows you the definition of reproduction and the types of reproduction, which we already discussed when we did the lesson. Here is a little extension about sexual reproduction as a concept. Okay, I want you people to know conceptually little more about sexual reproduction so that it will help us to understand the lesson better down the lane. Sexual reproduction involves two parents. This is known by and large. Okay, so I take parent 1, parent 2, and parent 1 gives me a gamete. Parent 2 also gives me a gamete, and the fusion, which is called as syngamy or fertilization, gives me zygote, and zygote undergoes embryogenesis to give rise to embryo, and embryo will become offspring. This is what you study generally. But when we speak about sexual reproduction, we always highlight a word: variation. What is variation? So, to keep it simple, variation is a change in expression of a gene. So, for instance, if my mother is short by her height, I am not short, I am taller than my mother. So, definitely the gene responsible for height in my mother is short, and the gene responsible for height in me is tall. It is same gene, same expression of a gene, but didn't the gene show a change of expression, in my case being the offspring to my mom? Yes, this exchange in expression is called as variation. Sexual reproduction gives variation. That's why we don't say offspring is identical to the parent. No, in sexual reproduction, offspring is not identical because there is a variation in gene expression. How did I get a variation? So naturally your answer will be, my father is tall, that's why I am also tall. So when gametes fuse in sexual reproduction, which is syngamy or fertilization, there will be change in allele expression. You know this word allele? Okay, altered expression of a gene. So when alleles come together, then the expression of a gene changes. This happens only in sexual reproduction. So we can understand sexual reproduction by means of two expressions. One is exchange in genetic material. This is very important concept. Exchange in genetic material. So, in the gene for height, my mom's gene may have recessive alleles and father's gene has dominant alleles, the tall gene. So, when a gamete has an allele from my mom, then the gamete from the father has a dominant allele. So, in offspring case, there is a dominance of tall allele on short, so there is a variation possible. Only in sexual reproduction this variation is possible. So there will be exchange in genetic material, because of which we see a variation. So if these two constraints are met, then we can call that type of reproduction as sexual reproduction. Yes, because in bacteria also we study sexual reproduction. We say two bacteria come together, conjugation. They exchange their genetic material and they give a variation. So if there is exchange of genetic material and if the offspring shows variation which is not identical to the parent, then it is sexual reproduction. Yes, bacteria also can perform sexual reproduction. My point is, sexual reproduction is not typically theoretical stages. Sexual reproduction is when I see a change in genetic material and if there is a variation in the expression of gene. You please understand this.